We're ready to get in. I know I'm just jumping on unannounced. Okay, let's try that one again. Okay, let's try that one again. That's like when you go in the store and your mother said, "Didn't I tell you to don't touch nothing?" Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for joining me today. We are going to just talk about what's happening because, yeah, it's gone off the rails again. Diaper Don has done his best, I suppose. Waiting for someone to tell me. I know I got me a little delay, 60-second delay, but can you hear me okay? Turn that up that way you can hear me. Make sure. Going to be pulling cards up. Oh, this one just jumped out. Look what just jumped out. Uranus. Sudden shocks and surprises. Yeah, Uranus. Because we're going to be talking about what's going on, what Diaper Don is doing in this world, what he has done for the U.S. done drug us in. So Uranus is the card that gets pulled out. How fun. Well, so as we know, U.S. has hit. U.S. has hit. This just jumped out. Iran bombed Iran a couple of days ago. The U.S. is now in. Officially, we are in a war. Iran is now has now fired back against the U.S. And hello, is it ain't? I don't want to mispronounce it. Ami? No, Aim. Amia. Reading is fundamental, isn't it? Hello, Amia. How are you today? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I still said it wrong. I'm so sorry. Miss A, I apologize. I'm a stickler for having the name right. Um, because I don't like my name being mispronunciated, so I apologize. Miss A is here. Miss A is in the house. Amia, Amia. Okay, Amia. Did I say it right that time? Enemy Gaming, hello. I'm going to guess that you are a gamer and you are good at what you do. Oh, okay, well then I'm just going to stop. Oh, so how is everybody doing today? Maya, and yeah. Okay. So, what's going? Oh, I did it, Maya. I will never forget that, Miss Maya. Too funny. I went all around the track, up the hill, slid way back down before I got it right. So, yes, I decided just to come on and connect with everybody and talk about what's going on and how we are now officially in a war with Iran. Games have been played. Diaper Don and his saggy, nasty ass has drug us into war. Him and Mr. VD acting like we are in such danger over here. Well, he has officially put us in such danger. As I'm talking, who would like a card? Oh, you're a pushy kick? Where are you from? Name where you're from. I missed that one. I'm in Georgia, United States, outside of, I didn't know what it meant. Outside of Atlanta. Oh, where's everybody from here? Because you two are new to me, if I believe. Have you guys pushed the like button? Have you pushed that subscribe button? You know, I really need to work on asking people to do that. I'm really grateful that I have reached over 1,000. It's been a journey. It's been fun. For those who don't know me, I this is more so spiritual, a spiritual channel, and it's also just a collage of me. Psychic, yes. Um, yes, I am psychic. I see, hear, feel, know, sense. I heal. I'm empath. So, yes, I am. I use oracle cards though. Yes, I can. I use oracle cards when I'm online. I don't. I give readings to people, but I officially do not. So, hey, Jack Frost Jack. Oh, you have a crush on me. How cute. Thank you for joining us today. I do, like I said, as far as spiritually, the one of the main culprits for me, what got me going on the channel, was I read a book that I was. This message is held for review. I don't know what that meant. Oh, oh, I think Mr. Jack Faraz, that message, you cannot say things like that, because that message has now been held for review. And please, yeah, I'm trying to move up. I'm good on my channel, so I believe in God, yes. Oh, absolutely, we are. Absolutely, the universe is God. We are divinity and walking flesh. God is. Um, oof. Uh, I don't know why. I've never gotten these messages before about being held for review, so I don't know. I don't know if you can see that. Um, so, and I don't know who would have tagged. I guess since I'm still under. Since I've reached over my 1,000 subscribers and I've moved up to YouTube partnership. Hey, Miss Lisa, by Miss Gaming Enemy, and I've moved up to YouTube partnership. My channel's under review. So and I'm almost at the next stage to where I'll be fully with the partnership and I'd be able to come on more often. So, but yes, I do believe in God. Yes, yeah, I'm just not religious. I am have a great day, Enemy Gaming. Thank you for coming. I believe that we are free will. Okay, let me give you my description of who we are. So, we are physical beings and we are spiritual beings. And this is how I believe in what God is. And I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. So, when you came upon this earth, and my background is Christianity. I grew up in the church. And I have always had gifts. My children have gifts, my family members, but it was always a no-no, but yet they were there. So, as far as my belief, we are physical beings and we are spiritual beings. So, according to the Bible, this is my description of who we are. So, when you came upon this earth, it took your mother and your father to bring you into physical form. And you have family, I just saw that word. I can't look at that or I get distracted. You have some of your father's traits and you have some of your mother's traits. You may look a little bit like your father, you may look a little bit like your mother, but yet you are individual. You are 100% you. Even though two people got together, shared themselves to create you, you are still 100% you. Now, on a spiritual level, because we are part physical and we are part spiritual, on a spiritual level, the creator, God, source, whomever you want to call it, I like to say the universe, universal spirit, because God is everything, within everything, and all things, and including us. So when we were created, when we had when we were all created, source, God, universe took a piece of itself and created you, took another piece of itself and created another person, took another piece of itself and created me. Source did not share itself with anybody. Therefore, you are 100% God, divinity in physical form. These bodies that we walk around in are literally created for you. It is created to support divinity. You have free will. You are a creator. You have a tongue in your mouth that when you speak creation. You manifest. You bring things to life. According to the Bible. I can't read. I need to stay focused. And I'm only speaking, I use Bible and Christianity as a religion. As far as my example, because that's what I grew up in, that's what I know. I grew up in the church. As an adult, after I had children and everything like that, because I fought the gifts that I have. And when I saw that my children had them, then that's when I stopped fighting everything and just allowed myself to be. So I allowed my gifts to come back alive, gifts that I suppressed as a child. And as I have grown and allowed just trusting in who I am, my gifts have come out in full fruition. And I have the gift of sight. I can hear, I can sense, I can feel and know. So I have the different clairs. As of now, I believe the clair for the sense, I don't recall the names, but for smell and taste. However, I do know they do not start with the word clair. But I believe my sense is smelling one is developing. So, because lately I've been smelling different things, just like out of the blue. And one of the main ones I've been smelling is cilantro, and I just love cilantro. So I said, if I have to be smelling something, I'm glad it's cilantro. So. No, I'm not a singer. I do like to sing, although I'm not professional at it. Thank you for chatting with everybody amongst each other. Miss Lisa, how have you been? And everybody, I do have cards, so let me know who wants an oracle card. So I hope that answers your question about, do I believe in God, and as far as who I am and what it is that because I call myself a psychic, it's simply a word, and everybody has these gifts. It's just a matter of waking them up. I do encourage meditation. I do have spiritual woo-woo times to where we do meditations together. We send energy healing and love. Just a whole collage of everything. So we are now, Miss Lisa, did you want, I didn't see if you had answered whether or not you wanted an oracle card. I know you like the oracle cards. I am using Black Moon Lilith. This is my favorite deck, so, and I use the oracle cards for messages simply so that my energy does not get drained. If something comes through as I'm pulling them and there's something to say for that individual, then I will share it. So okay, I would love, we had a, oh, was it a family reunion? Those are fun, getting together and seeing the folks. So it's important to have these gatherings when times are good, not because something tragic had happened. So kudos to you and yours for getting together and having a celebration, a happy celebration. Okay. Teresa Horton. Yes, you may have a card. I'm going to give one. This is for Miss Lisa first, okay? Angels, guides, and loved ones. I'm asking for a card for Miss Lisa today. And we got Black Moon Lilith in Cancer. Honor your emotions. Oh, a 50th wedding anniversary. That is really, truly special. Unity, staying together for such a long period of time. Very good. Strong family. Honor your emotions. This is for Miss Lisa. Black Moon in Lilith. Turned right to it. The universe said, get to that message, girl. Ultimate message in this. Home is your sanctuary and comfort zone. Create the nurturing environment that you deserve. That's what the card was for Miss Lisa. Isn't that beautiful? Create the home environment you deserve. Okay. Let's see. Who was it the one said that was next? I want to make sure I have the name that I'm asking for as I'm pulling the card. Spirit guides, angels, loved ones. Who was Teresa Horton. Teresa Horton, angels, guides, loved ones. And we have a card, message for Teresa Horton. And you have, woohoo, Queen Jezebel, magnetic royal witch. This is a very powerful card. She was so misunderstood. So misunderstood. She was so strong that they tarnished her name. And people literally worshipped her. Queen Jezebel. We're going to find out the ultimate message. But that was my first response to that. She was very powerful. And it says, you are regal and divine. Do not allow others to shame you out of your magical shine. Because she was a powerful woman. She was a very powerful woman. And her name just got smeared. Just like they do to this day. When they don't like who you are, or they want to give you a bad name and carry on, like you see within the political realm. So, honor your emotions. You are a powerful woman. Yes, don't shine. Don't let anybody take that away from you. Trust yourself. That's on the inside. Trust what is coming to you. Trust the divinity that is within you. The kingdom of God is within. Remember that. And what you do, you are so welcome. And what you do, you are so welcome, Miss Lisa. You want one too? Okay, your next gaming enemy. What you do through your strength, trust it. Trust yourself. Okay? Angels, guides, and loved ones. May I have a card, please, for enemy gaming? What message does enemy gaming have for today? Enemy gaming, Mars. A little on the active side. Mars, enemy gaming, gaming. Let's see what they have to. I just saw the doggone. Where'd it go? Why does this happen to me all the time when it comes down to this doggone um um index? Mars 59. We are on page. Okay, Mars, drive, energy, and passion. The ultimate message in this for you. Prepare for a fiery, passionate time of creation. Sex is a positive outlet for you right now. Make sure you use wisdom in those moments, Mr. Enemy Gaming. That was your message. Let's see. It was her husband who was mispronounced her name to defile. What? Wait, come back. Come back. The message thing. Oh, there it is. Okay. It was her husband who mispronounced her name to defile her. It was around the time they were destroying the temples of goddesses. Because they feeling threatened. Yeah. Yeah. That's your card, Mr. Enemy Gaming. That's your card. So use that energy in your gaming. Go win some games. So let's quickly talk about what is happening with the U.S. bombing Iran. And this is my personal opinion. And you know what? And I didn't say before, everything on here is for entertainment purposes only. Everything on here is my opinion, okay? And take what resonates and release the rest, or hey, but it's all for entertainment purposes only, right? So when it comes down to the U.S. and what they have done bombing Iran, it's the most maddest, like, and then going to sit up there and require them to comply and now we be at peace. I mean, just nonsense. What would you do if somebody came into your house and just tore shit up? What would you do? Are you just going to be like, okay, yeah, we're peace? No, it ain't going to happen that way. Iran has already started bombing U.S. Territories or bases, military. They've already started. After the bombing happened, Iran literally took a trip to Russia. And that's because Russia is their ally. China is their ally. The U.S. flew off of U.S. soil to Iran, bombed Iran without congressional approval, and then came back and bragged about what they did. But yet Iran already had a tip-off and moved a lot of the stuff out of the facility, even though they have already been told, the U.S. has been told, including by U.S. intelligence, Iran has no weapons, no nuclear weapons. But guess what? Now Russia is calling on Iran's allies to supply nuclear warheads to Iran. Why would they supply it if they already had it? They don't have it. They weren't close to it. And if you think about it, they have been saying for years and years. I can remember in my youth hearing that Iran was close to a nuclear weapon. They were only weeks away. They were months away. I have heard that for years. And when I was reminded of that, I was like, that is so true. It's just been the repeated rhetoric that they use for political reasons. And now Diaper Don thinks that he can bomb Iran, and it's all really truly for the purpose of oil, and thinking he gonna get their resources and precious minerals and the things that they have over there. I say that because and I don't feel like Netanyahu forced him to do anything. I literally feel like all of these wars going on, they are all in cahoots with each other. They know about it. When Hamas attacked Israel, the first thing that came to me was Netanyahu and Putin had something to do with getting that started. That was the first thing that came to me. So now you have when Israel was attacking Gaza, and they were saying, we're getting ready to bomb over here, so citizens, you need to evacuate, and people would leave. And then they would say, citizens, we're getting ready to bomb over here, so you need to evacuate, and then they would leave. And they, wherever they kept going, then, they directed them out, and then they would bomb. Now, and then they started bombing where they were literally intense, just bombing civilians, and then telling them, you need to leave. Go live in another country. It's not safe here for you. It's all destroyed. It's not safe. Go live in another country. But yet, in the previous Diaper Don administration, when Kushner, when he went to Israel and was conducting all of the business and moving the embassy and all that kind of stuff, the things that they did, and he said then that the Gaza would be great beachfront property, and then now in this administration, Diaper Don sits up there and puts out that video of the Trump Gaza Strip, and then with the video with all the high rises and all that kind of stuff, and then he also has made mention, that he may intercept or do whatever so that to assist with the cleanup, or to help clean, because it's not safe for them, and they need to go to another country. Now let's get back to Iran. Before Diaper Don did this illegal act, which now will also qualify, because I also remember I did a video about it when I very first opened my channel, and I need to go look for it, because I had said, and this was from his previous administration, I had said Diaper Don was going to face the world courts for crimes against humanity. And now he's done a bombing over in Iran without congressional approval, which makes it illegal. So we should watch that space. Now, before Diaper Don ordered for those bunker busting bombs that they were telling everybody about before they did it to be before gave the order for that, he said to the people, put out the message, the people of Tehran, they should evacuate. Okay, well, at that time, Diaper Don didn't do anything, and I don't know, I'm not clear if if Israel had sent bombs to Tehran. However, I did have the feeling of, he's trying to see and trying to prove to Putin that they can do it again. We can announce that we're getting ready to bomb this area and people will leave. We can do that over and over again. Is this fool trying to take over Iran and get their minerals and everything and trying to strong arm them in that type of way? Because now they're attacking back. You need to be very careful. Like, we are literally, the U.S. is literally now at war. And then Diaper Don gonna sit out there and put out a statement a couple of hours ago. Was it a statement or was it an article I saw? But literally saying about the oil companies and so forth, telling them, you better not raise the oil prices. I will be watching you. What kind of mess is this man? If you can't say that, anybody, if you can't realize that this country is turning into a dictatorship, like, people need to rise up and do something about it. Black folks, stay home. Stay home. Because then I will also say this, when it comes down to these military actions, Diaper Don made sure that DEI was in place and segregation brought back into the military, and removing any type of information off the military.gov website that was related to any type of people of color in their achievements, in anything that they did. He has removed, he's like trying to erase history. I already said back when he took over the National Archives, I said, we don't know what's gone in the furnace, or, all kind of things could be burnt up by now and destroyed, so that you can erase history, so he can erase treaties and so forth that are within the Indian reservations, and like a land grab. It's like, remember when I was talking about how the U.S. is in a Pluto return? A Pluto return comes around, this is astrologically, how it comes around every 250 years. So when the U.S. was established, it has now been 250 years, and now Pluto has come back to the same area within the skies. And that means what you established the country on at that time, now you ask what works, what doesn't work. So when you look at everything that is happening right now with history literally repeating itself, what was happening at that time? There was in the establishment of the U.S., it took colonizers, it took taking away of land, it took immigrants, immigration. People from Europe immigrated to this country over times of span, but it started then. They killed off the Native Americans, claimed the land for themselves. They brought slavery from Africa to this land, and you got all of these same similarities in different areas happening um, all over again. We have and the difference now with Africa, with the U.S. speaking to them, um, instead of in the way that it was spoken to them 250 years ago. Now, Africa, different countries in Africa, like Burkina Faso, that country, how they're really kicking out all type of foreign agreements, because of the lands, how they have keeping Africa poor. Well, how can Africa be so poor when it's literally rich? And then now it's coming out how these countries have these 99-year contracts and so forth about getting the minerals and everything, oils and precious gems and so forth out of the land. But yet they don't refine it there, and they take everything away, but then it appears like they help them by giving aid to these poor, starving countries that are literally rich. Now that they are canceling these contracts, making other countries and their government officials get out and establishing their own, and they are debt-free. They are literally thriving. So literally the opposite is happening this time around when you can speak of the Pluto return. Before, they were able to make contracts and agreements. It wasn't in minerals and land, or it wasn't in oil and gold and all so forth. Then it was through humans, through the getting slaves for the ones that agreed with it, or whether they were agreed and sold, or the ones that were captured. But either way, slavery came to the United States. Now they're telling, some of these countries are telling the U.S., go away, and telling other countries, go away. So watch that space with the economy in these other countries like France, the U.S., China's going into Africa now, making agreements with these countries, because the difference that they're saying now is, you want the minerals or the stuff that's in this land. Well, if you're going to mine it from this land, then you need to refine it in this land with the people of this land, and the money that is made from what you are doing, a percentage of that is to go to the people of the land. They're literally focusing on their own people, literally changing the tides and not sending this wealth out to these other countries in this way. So watch how everything economically is going to change with these countries that that are being cut off by the different countries in Africa. So now the similarities of, so when it comes to the United States and it being in the Pluto return, what are we going to be doing differently? People need to rise up. Oh, and I kind of skipped off of the military part when I said black folks stay home, don't be out in the streets, because remember the lost my train of thought. I read there that he wants to remove the people of color of the military. So if you want to remove anything about them in the military, then you should not be sending them up there on the front lines to be fighting anywhere if you don't want them in the military in the first place. So that's just my opinion. All of this is my opinion. I have been speaking for a while now about stocking up and being prepared. Well, here's an example. As far as stocking up, because I've also said that back in 2020 and during the pandemic time, that I always felt that that was a dry run. Everything that we went through in that time was a dry run. And then if you look right now into the different things, how many repetitive things that are happening in the world as well within your personal life. So it was a dry run, and so now is the time to, okay, how are you going to handle it this time? And this would also include viral, because back before the pandemic had started, back before it had even started, I had said that 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 what came back after COVID, what would make COVID look like a joke. So there's now a COVID strain going around that they call it the razor blade throat. Why? Because everybody is saying it feels like their throat, inside of their throat, has been cut with razor blades. That's this strain that is going around, and it's officially in the United States. It's, cases have been already. I don't know how many. It's a low number in comparison. However, you already know what to do. They're not going to shut us down. I think this time around people will shut themselves down. You already know about masking. You already know about distancing. You already know about washing your hands. And I think it is a damn shame that something had to come along like the pandemic to reiterate to people to wash your hands. Wash your hands. Anyway, yeah. And when I say about shortages, bringing that up about the shortages, and because that was also something, we had supply chain issues. So now that we got this this war that has now begun with Iran has their parliament agreed to shut down that channel that the name escapes me, but literally it supplies 20% of the world's oil goes through that canal, that particular one. So shipping issues is going to become a thing, because as long as these countries begin to everybody fighting each other, because you have Israel and still with Palestine, with Gaza, they still doing that, and then you got Israel with Iran, U.S. with Iran. Iran done gone to Russia and said, ally, we need help. And then and China, which is also their ally, I forget what they have said, but they made a comment as well. But yet for Russia to sit up there and call on Iranian allies to weaponize Iran. So it's about to get very, very, very messy out there. I kept saying before all this happened, I was saying I was seeing explosions. I'm wondering, but I thought I was seeing the explosions on U.S. soil. So I'm going to still stick with that, because I said Timothy McVeigh on down. And from what I'm seeing thus far, it's been a little bit higher than Timothy McVeigh. So y'all don't know who Timothy McVeigh is? Look it up. Google Timothy McVeigh and see what he did. One man. See what he did. Yeah, so stock up, prepare yourself. But I don't feel it's going to last a long time. Between Israel and Iran, I don't think it's going to last a long time. I don't think it's going to be like Gaza or Ukraine and Russia. Yeah, you got Ukraine and Russia. I don't think it's going to last long like that, because when Ukraine and Russia, when that war started, somebody asked me how long that was going to last, and I said I see 5 to 6. So I said, I hope it's 5 to 6 weeks. And I said, it's either going to be 5 to 6 weeks, 5 to 6 months, or 5 to 6 years. And I said, I really don't hope it's not 5 to 6 years. Well, it looks like we're in that window. And when somebody asked me how long did I feel about the Israel and Iran, the first thing I heard was, I heard 5 came to me. So I'm jumping on 5 months because I don't feel like it's going to last a long time. So, yeah. So if things are just going to get messy, and this doesn't even include the trade war that is paused, so to speak, whatever that's supposed to mean, because as long as China has to support their ally Iran, who knows what Diaper Don will say then about tariffs with China and whomever else. But yeah, this is all about, so I'm wondering, does he think he can scatter the people in Iran, and does he think he can strong arm them into a minerals contract or something like that, like he's trying to strong arm Ukraine into? And does he think that he can scatter the people of Iran like he did with Gaza? So something to think about, and this is all my opinion, So yeah. I think that was about all. Here in the U.S., Governor Abbott signed a whatever, so the schools in, hello, SCR, Dr. Brown, hello, thank you for coming, welcome, has signed a whatever to, that all the schools are now to display the 10 commandments in the classrooms in Texas. Gilead. If you haven't watched Handmaid's Tale, now would be a great time to do it. You would literally see the possibilities of where we would be heading within our country. Gilead, yeah. They because of all the rights and everything that they're stripping away from women, and just watch how far this goes. I don't know if, and then I will say this too about with Diaper Don and his administration. Every single Republican that is supporting this child and his tantrums and his trying to grab everybody's toys to keep for himself, they need to be held accountable. They need to be voted out if we have voting properly again, because they will start doing audits though, because of what there was a county that had irregular. They've realized irregular numbers, and so there's audits, and different states are beginning to call for audits. So if things don't get broken before, if he does not declare us in, who knows? Being in a wartime state would stop elections as well. Being in a state of martial law will stop elections as well. Diaper Don sat up there and sent them people to all the military to U.S. soil, to L.A., and blew something up that wasn't even happening. Literally, all of that was going on was in a 2-3 box section. You go around you can ask anybody from LA, ask them what the rest of the city was like. They would tell you, you wouldn't even know anything was even happening over there. So just trying to blow something up. And I think that he's going to shift his immigration tactics from Hispanic people, and I think he's going to ramp it up for people of dark color. So, for example, there was this one dude that just got arrested. he's detained. He thought his status and everything was fine, working legal, the way that they saying his visa was expired. But he was working in law enforcement, and ICE is detaining him. And he's from an African country. So what I think is the immigration is going to ramp up in prominently black cities that have immigration of people from Africa, Haiti, Jamaica, the islands, that type of thing. And then accidentally, there's going to be U.S. citizens in there that will be detained because he's still trying to rile up the black community and he has not been successful. Stay home, black people. Don't let him pin this on you because he's going to do some more mess and blame it on another country. I already said he's going to start with do something with Mexico and blame Mexico. Like, he's just starting mess. He wants to keep his butt out of jail. That's what he wants to do. And I can give you an example of rhetoric and how it's so spun. With the immigration, they sit up there and say that they're leeching off the system, that they're a drain on the society, and that they're here illegally draining America and taking away jobs. Yet they're arresting them, picking them up in fields, factories, hotels, service industry, restaurants, schools, places of productivity where they are good standing citizens and paying their taxes. And then they'll sit up there and say that they're criminals and they're not obeying the laws, yet they're arresting them at their immigration appointments. When they're coming out of their court hearings, they're picking them up then. They're literally even calling people in for their appointments with immigration. They're calling people in and they're thinking they're going in to finalize something, and ICE is picking them up. Just madness out here. It's so important, so important to be in the space of love right now, to show kindness and compassion. I will say this, after that No King's Day march, I think we did a shift. I think we did some type of shift dimensionally. Something changed. I think we went to a higher vibration because we had, I can say, millions of people out on across the United States that day. They were together. They were unified as one on a peace level. It was a protest against against this administration, but in you're not a king, you don't make all the rules. We have a governing body and so forth. What's the sense on having rules if you ain't going to abide by them? Anyway, I think that since it was done, more love in that space with all those people, that we raised the vibration up a little bit. The next day, I was just like energetically just depleted because I think it was a big hype. And then after it happened, then everybody was like, whew, and energetically I felt it. And I was just like, ugh, and I was drained the next day. But that's an example how when you are in a love space, when we meditate, when we come together, and like even in the Bible, it says 2 or 3 gathered together. One could put one to flight, two could put 10,000 to flight. There is strength in numbers. And when you do it on a higher positive vibrational level, you change things. So, yeah, that's my chit-chat rant for the day, I suppose. It is, we are in a heat wave, but y'all know how I love the heat. It is like 95 right now, I think. Tomorrow, I think we're supposed to be getting up to 100 something, or 97, something like that. I ain't complaining, because I'd be complaining if it was cold outside. Yeah, I'd be sitting in front of my space heater. Thank everyone. Thank you for joining me. Go listen to the book that I read. I read the final chapter, The Death Experience. That was the final chapter of the first part of the book that I read. So, and we've already been doing some of the exercises, the meditations and so forth from the second part of the book, some of the techniques that I've been demonstrating. So, yes, that's where I've been getting a lot of them, from that marvelous book. Yes, we need black folks. I'll say it. Black folks, stay home. Hold the light. Keep standing in positivity. You don't need to, just because somebody tries to rile you up does not mean you need to respond. I know life be lifing, yes, but we didn't vote for this. Mm-mm. So it is what it is. MAGA, y'all still fluffing his dirty diaper up. You know, you all jump up over there in Iran. You guys go to the front line. You guys want to have your pew pew so bad, and so on and so forth. But no, black folks stay home, stay calm, watch a good movie. What's a good movie? Okay, I'll give you some good movies that I have watched recently. Accountant 2. So if you got to watch, it is, now that one's a violent one, but it's still good. The Accountant, and they did Accountant 2. I've already watched The Accountant 2 twice. I like it better than the first one. It's softer, I suppose, but it was a good story. Straw, emotional, but good. What's another one that I watched Thunder Force for the first time. Oh, Melissa McCarthy is so silly. Oh my goodness, she's so silly. But a good laugh. Sinners, very good. Lots and lots of twists and messages in that. What another? I've been working a lot and then trying to catch up on my channel. I know I watched another one. That series, if you have Hulu, that series, High Potential, that's a good one. I like Will Trent. That's a good one. That one filmed here in Atlanta, and they got 3 seasons of that. But High Potential, I can't tell. I think I like High Potential better than Will Trent. They're kind of on the same thing, a detective, but yet people with different thinking brains, like a savant type, but not savant. So there's lots of good stuff out there to watch. So grab a good movie and pop some popcorn, turn the news off, and chill in the house. Don't get drug out in the mess. Make sure you peep through that peephole before you open that door. Be safe, be wise. It's not fear, you're being prepared. It's no different. If there was a storm coming and you knew it, you would prepare. No different. So prepare, folks. And once again, thank you for coming. Thank you. Those that have not subscribed, please do so. Hit that like button. And until we see each other again, have the most benevolent day.